Today I wanted to talk to you about this topic. The changes taking place in the world are first of all tests for our ego, but not for our soul. It is the ego that tries to control everything and keep an illusory stability. The soul knows the way and trusts life. The movie, Peaceful Warrior, 2006, is a perfect illustration for understanding the processes that are happening now in the world and in the lives of each of us. The only thing that matters in life is this moment. The modern world has long been in pursuit of illusory values. Universal recognition, successful success, focused only on material results and social status. The search for happiness in external attributes, brands, cars, apartments. The main character Dan had the same orientations. At the same time, the needs of the soul, the state of here and now, living and enjoying the process of life, the ability to create in love and create in the flow are completely ignored. Dan is a successful student, who, in addition to studying at college, is engaged in gymnastics, dreams of going to the Olympics and win gold, and thus achieve universal recognition. He considers his life a success, and he will be happy only when he wins. But then where do nightmares and insomnia constantly tormenting him come from? And how to fight the tension and excitement that arises before each performance and prevents him from realizing his dream? Everything in his life turns upside down when he meets Socrates. Socrates is a gas station attendant on the one hand, and a true philosopher on the other. According to his philosophy, the only thing that matters in life is this moment. Who is Socrates really? Dan's higher self, his intuition, the archetype of the wise elder, or the messenger of providence. Whoever he is, it is into his mouth that the author has put life wisdom and powerful tools for getting out of personal crisis. The movie, Peaceful Warrior, is based on real events and is based on the novel, The Way of the Peaceful Warrior, by Dan Millman. Represents by genre a drama with philosophical overtones, which puts on the agenda such questions as: what is happiness? What is the meaning of human life? What really matters in life, and what is not worth wasting your precious time on? How to know your purpose? What are the life guidelines of a happy person? How to determine the true meanings? How to get out of a crisis? What is the essence of life's trials? It's time to hear your soul. If we consider the movie from the position of symbolism, Dan is a collective image of a modern man living with illusory values. The conflict between false ego orientations and unrealized needs of the soul leads the protagonist to a personal crisis. Is the same thing happening in our world, due to the pandemic and the coming economic crisis? The movie eloquently depicts Dan's encounter on the tower with himself. With his shadow part of his personality, which symbolizes old scripts and programs. And which needs to be recognized and let go. The situation that is happening in the world right now is forcing each of us to re-examine our old beliefs, life rules and standards. To see them, recognize them and let them go. Only by accepting our shadow part of our personality are we able to influence it. It's time to hear your soul, its true needs. To let go of false goals and ego illusions. To go through emptiness and non-action and find yourself anew. The accident Dan was in symbolizes life's trials, which come to shatter the ego's illusions in the need to control his life and stop chasing after phantom goals. After the accident that injured Dan's leg, there is a loss of Dan's old identity, a famous gymnast, and a search for the true meanings of life. Finding new meanings, Dan does become a famous gymnast, but he arrives at this goal, not through the neurosis of reaching, but through contact with himself and his body. Through trusting life and loving what he does. You don't give up on your dreams. You're giving up something you never had and never will have, control. Face it, you don't control what happens to you. It happens, fine, it happens, it doesn't happen, that's fine. His mentor Socrates tells him, a warrior does not abandon what he has loved. He finds love in what he does. Choosing a different life strategy, one focused on soul contact and the ability to enjoy the process, allows Dan to create an outcome of excellence. He did, after all, do a triple somersault, which was a record in his sport. An injury from the crash created a pause in training, the perfect opportunity to reassess and zero in. Quarantine is a time to pause, to stop racing and look around. To look at your life from the outside in. To move through the emptiness and inaction and find yourself anew. Choose which one you're gonna be. Victim or victor. Quotes from the movie. 4 Rules of Life. 1. Paradox. Life is a mystery. Don't waste time trying to solve it. 2. Humor. Don't lose your sense of humor, especially towards yourself. It is the greatest gift. 3. Change. Everything changes. 4. The path. The path makes us happy, not the destination. Very appropriate tenets for today, aren't they? Choose which one you're going to be. Victim or victor. The warrior acts, the fool reacts. Every minute, through mindfulness and the state of the observer, we make a choice between infantile reacting and adult behavior, between victim and victor. We decide whether to act consciously or let negative emotions take over. Get the garbage out of your head. When you're in the here and now, you'll be surprised at what you can do. And how you can do it. There is no beginning or end, only the very action of the here and now. What is the garbage in your head that Socrates is talking about? About limiting attitudes, shoulds, illusions of the ego. When we direct our attention to feelings and sensations, constantly asking ourselves, wait, what am I feeling right now? What does my body feel? We keep the focus of our attention in living in the moment. We make decisions with our heart and follow the call of our soul. You can live your whole life and never wake up. We wake up when we stop living in our heads and start following our intuition, oriented to the impulses of our soul. Those who are difficult to love need it the most. Death is not sad at all. What is sad is that many people do not live at all. Death is a transformation. A little more serious than puberty, but nothing worth getting upset about. By living our lives in fear of death, we really aren't living. But, then, why are we so afraid of death? Because we think we can control it. This is another illusion of the ego and the most powerful delusion of our minds. After all, it is no secret that we will all die someday, such are the laws of the game called life. But only our physical body will die, the soul will continue its journey. Therefore, death is just a transition. Stop looking outside yourself and listen to what's inside you. People are afraid of what's inside, and that's the only place they can find what they need. Bringing a person's attention back from the outside world to the inside is one of the main goals of psychotherapy. Because contact with the source of power within oneself is only possible by working through repressed emotions and false beliefs. Knowledge is not yet wisdom. Wisdom is the application of knowledge. The inner experience we gain through action is the foundation of wisdom. When both the mind and the heart are at one. All you need is to be conscious of your choices and responsible for your actions. The great power of awareness. It's what gets us out of the matrix of false habits. Total vulnerability is true courage. An open heart, sincerity and authenticity, empowers us to be real and live without masks. Perhaps in times of pandemic, we put on medical masks to finally free ourselves from psychological masks. Barely all of humanity shares your problems. If you don't get what you want, you suffer. And even if you get exactly what you want, you still suffer because you can't hold on to it forever. Unreasonable expectations create suffering. And a lack of humility and acceptance of all that life provides as great blessings creates a lot of empty worry and anxiety. Trying to control where one should trust is the root of all suffering. There is no higher purpose than to serve others. Once, a person learns to serve himself and fulfill all his needs. He has a passionate yearning in the need to serve people. To fulfill his mission, to make the world a better place. Where are you? Here. When are you? Now. Who are you? I am the present moment. The skill of living in the here and now is one of the most powerful spiritual practices. This skill can be mastered only through hard work on oneself. And this work is connected with clearing your inner world of ego conditioning and false attitudes, fixed ideas and repressed emotions. Psychotherapy as a tool in this matter is ideal. Life's challenges force us to go deep inside ourselves and clear the way to our source of strength, to recognize our purpose. To listen to the voice of the soul and live in unity with the universe, trusting the flow and conduction of the Creator.